Okay, we have like 10 seconds.
We, in fact, have no seconds.
Woo,
Good
let's go.
evening. And welcome back to 4WC 2023, where there are no seconds left before this match gets started to continue our round of 16 weekend. It's the United States versus Japan in the winner's bracket side. One of these teams will advance on to the quarterfinals. The other team will drop down to loser's bracket. But which one it is will be a matter to find out over the next, well, I don't know, half hour. We'll find out. I'm T1G, he's Miles, and welcome everyone to the broadcast. Mr. Miles, good evening. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great, Aaron, and it looks like we're very quickly getting into the ban phase of this match. USA getting first ban, already banning out that Fremont 3, Raiko third Desire, has been a very popular pick so far this weekend. I think very friendly to a lot of different mods, but USA is going to say that and just decide to strike it out. Japan going to be going for the DT3 ban. Makes a lot of sense. USA basically almost 4-wayed this last weekend, and Japan not going to want to opt into that.
Yeah, that was some speedy rolls and bans. Like, they knew what they were doing coming into this. So you know, what are we thinking? Like, when you look at this United States team on this pool, banning out Fremont 3, having DT3 banned against them, what do we think USA is looking to opt into? You're someone with a lot of insider information, I feel like, on this team, so.
That I do, and I can tell you that the United States on this pool against Japan, they're going to want to ban out maps that I think are a lot more accessible. Maps that Japan can field maybe a 4-man roster for and get 4 good players on. That's why they decide to ban the map like Raiko Third Desire. That map has been extremely accessible, getting multiple FCs basically per match on it. And Japan banning DT3, I think, is just the opposite effect. Japan gonna ban some of the more skill cappy, some of the more niche things that the United States tends to excel at. Just something that the United States can really just like flex their muscles on. And I think that's just a very effective ban from Japan.
Alright, so first pick, it's actually going to Japan. I forgot the rules. First pick Japan. I actually, so this is a team, you know, and this is something I've been kind of saying, like, this year 4WC feels like it's had a lot of turnover, and there's just a billion new players, and so there's so many people that I just am not familiar with, and the Japan team is one of them. They've got Autolin, who was a very solid player on the RO16 squad last year. They've got Valo108 somehow or other out of retirement, but other than that, a lot of players I'm not familiar with. So with the lack of knowledge here, they're gonna go DT1. I'm curious kind of what the expectations are for them, because I really don't have a great feel for it.
I honestly couldn't tell you either. Japan on the international scene isn't typically very active. They have a very active secular community within Japan. I know they host a lot of tournaments within their own community, but on the international scene, you really don't get to see a lot of these Japanese players. But I think there's a few to look out for in this match, and you can see them already in the lobby for Team Japan. It is Rikuima and Sabakan, who I believe were their top performers in the round of 32 against Singapore, who they defeated. And other than that, I really don't know what to expect for these players from Japan. But for the United States, DT1 being picked into them, this is one of those maps that I felt was very accessible for Team Japan. They should be able to bring in 4 players that can do extremely well on this. But United States already with a few players in the lobby going to be also, I think, equally as confident on this pick.
I feel USA, like, year after year in these international tournaments, right? They've had the kind of player turnover that I was talking about, and they almost always end up being really strong. But it feels like 4WC has been a little bit of the white whale, perhaps. If you have to go back to, was it 2019?
Yes.
Or 2020 for the USA winning this tournament last. So new players, new roster, a lot of new members, and I think really maybe with something to prove. Whereas Japan, you know, the underdog in this matchup and not one of the favorites to win this tournament. So really nothing to lose on their side, whereas the United States might be playing with a little more pressure in this tournament. So I'm curious to see if that's going to affect anything. Maybe not so much this early around, but something to kind of keep in mind as the tournament progresses.
I'd like to say actually that the United States might be playing with a bit of a chip on their shoulder in this matchup against Japan, because back in 2022, Japan actually defeated the United States in semifinals, I think losers bracket 1, in a very intense tiebreaker match where they won that one by only about 100k on the tiebreaker. But they've obviously dropped a couple of very strong players from that team, and obviously they're facing the United States on a much earlier pool, so I'm going to be probably expecting a much different type of match from these two teams this time around. But I guess we are already into the first map, DT1 Black Bullet, the first pick for Team Japan. We've got Flameseer, Twilight, Arco, and Cryptocurrency for Team United States up against Sabakan, Rikuima, Nobuchi, and Silk for Team Japan. Already seeing a break on Nobuchi, going to be giving the United States a small early lead. Finds another break for Nobuchi. It's going to be not very good for them, but still very early tidings into the map, so not really too much to be concerned about.
Yeah, this is such the bog standard DT1. Like, it's aimy, it's got a few bursts and slightly longer streams, a little bit, higher BPM, just 233, nothing too crazy, and, decent amount of length, right? 3 minutes, a lot of combo to build up, but another break for Japan there on Siyuk, which is not what they want to see. Not quite halfway through. It's 4 FCs to 2, 150k lead. That's going to start to grow at the halfway mark. You start to see the scores get a little bit bigger. And there goes Sabakan as well. This is not going at all the way Japan would have liked their first pick to be starting off.
Yeah, but Rikuima, the player to hold on. He was their top performer last match. He is the guy that you want to be FCing these maps. But, against a team like the United States, you need more than one player to FC the map. And if you're looking at this Team United States roster, they are looking quite comfortable on this DT1 so far, so to speak. Still finally dropping their first FC off of Arco, but still holding on to the three-way. Their lead has already exploded up to around 600k, and it is looking to be a tragedy for Japan on their first pick.
Yeah, it's... Picking mechanics into this USA team feels quite risky. And we sort of had this happen earlier. There's a break from Flameseer, so not going to get the three-way FC even for the United States. But we had this happen earlier, right, in the France versus Sweden match, where you just can't figure out good picks into some of these top teams. France #1 seed, USA the #2 seed. Like, you have to be at your absolute best and hope that they don't play at theirs. Because if one of these top seeds performs well at all on pretty much anything in the pool this early, you're going to have a hard time beating them unless you are really putting up incredible scores. And unfortunately, Japan not quite able to do that on this first pick.
Rikuima gonna look to lock in that FC though for Team Japan, but that one FC is not gonna be enough. He's shaking a little bit, but United States is looking to put up a mammoth team score on this map, up above 3,700,000. Cryptocurrency
No.
on like the last slider. That is so tragic, but still, him and Twilight getting the job done. Over 1,100,000 score on each of them. Going to be 3.7 million and a break point on Japan's first pick.
Yeah, that's exactly how you want to start things off if you're the United States. Get a nice straightforward mechanics pick out of your opponents. Take the break point with a basically double FC versus only one FC on the other side. And Japan just, I mean, it's only a couple misses, right? It wasn't like it was a bad performance, but unfortunately, you can't even have a couple misses or you're going to struggle. In the United States is going to flip it completely. They're going to go into the Hard Rock 2, so we're going to see a little precision, alti, flow aimy sort of pick. That's a big departure from the kind of basic mechanics DT1 that we just saw. But like you said before at the beginning, right? The United States often going to be the team that likes to opt into these niche and gimmick maps, and this does fit the bill there.
I think that this is going to be a power pick for Team United States. They looked at the MP link from Japan for last week. They had 2 B ranks on Mothership, which was the HR2 from last week. So obviously this HR2 being much harder than Mothership, I think they looked at that and thought, hey, we might as well just go into this. And I think this is going to be a good pick for Team United States. But for Japan, they're going to need to find some way to get into this match, and I think a breakpoint on this would be just that way.
Yeah, this is a tough ask, though. You know, the kind of tough thing about the gimmickier maps, right, is that they tend to be kind of polarizing. Either you perform well on them or you perform really poorly on them. There's not a huge amount of in-between, it feels like, on some of these. The things like this week's Hidden 2, this Hard Rock 2. You might, if you're a precision player or you're a reading player, you'll do well in them. And if you're not, and if you, like you said, if you can't field a really strong 4-man roster for these types of picks, they might go quite badly for you. So, very interested to see what kind of roster Japan can put up on this pick, as they only still, well, now they have 2 players. They only had 1 player in the lobby for quite some time, which belies perhaps, I don't know, maybe a slight lack of comfort in this type of map.
Yeah, I think so. Going to be seeing a few switches for both rosters on this. We're going to see Batball and Conrad Mitten coming in for Team United States, Flamesteer and Arco staying for their second map straight. Meanwhile, for Team Japan, going to be seeing Autoline and Nobuchi come on in for this Hard Rock 2, joining Rikuima and Sabakan from the last map. We've got Frozen World. This map was originally a custom for OWC qualifiers last year, but it was the lower diff. So this is the higher diff on the one that was the DT diff from OWC. And this map is kind of unfinished. It only mapped half the song, but nevertheless, it gives quite the complete experience in flow, aim, finger control, precision.
I don't know that I'd want to be. I don't know that I'd want to be playing this for twice as long as it is. That would be quite rough.
It would be.
Let's say, well, there's another, like, DT2 feels kind of unfinished, right? They didn't map the end of the song in this week's DT2, so a couple unfinished sounding maps in this pool, but they fit the slots, so who's to complain? And yeah, early break, 1 player on each side, and then another Batball falling. Lead to Japan, kind of, but 84 AC on Rikuima, and 91 AC on Autoline, 93 AC on Sabakan. Not really what you want to see when you have a combo lead, is that you're still losing by 150k.
Yeah, it just really shows the difference in comfort on this map. Even on the USA players that have dropped, they're able to maintain their accuracy, and now the drops are starting to come in from Japan on Rikuima and Nobuchi. But even more drops come in for the side of the United States. Drops on Arco, Flamesteer, and Batball. Conrad breaking as well. They are all out of FCs, but Japan has...
Okay, yeah, there's just no FCs left. Everyone is completely... I don't want to be rude, but this entire lobby is running it down.
You're a little bit right, Aaron.
Like they're kind of just they're just sprinting down mid. Like, I don't know what's happening. I would not expect players of this caliber on both sides to be having this much trouble with this map. It is quite tricky, but this is still a little beyond what we would have expected as the worst case scenario for these teams. But the United States is more than happy to take the 500k win, regardless of what their actual score may have been.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Anything that gets the point on the board is fine. And, to these players, credit and comfort, I guess. Flow, aim, precision might be one of the most difficult skill sets to be extremely consistent on. Players at the top like Rectigon, who are able to do it so consistently, are just anomalies. So, you know what? United States, maybe they didn't get their top scores, and Japan as well, but getting the point on the board with the first pick is what the United States aimed to do with that, and they did that. So, pick goes back to Japan. I think they really need to get on the board.
Yeah, a lot of the matches today, and I feel like this is kind of a common theme of best of 9. A lot of the matches just get out of hand really fast. You win a break point, you consolidate, and just like that, one more map after that's 3-0, and then it just gets run away with. We saw, the sweep in Chile versus Brazil. We saw France winning 4 points in a row after being down 2-1. So it really does feel like it's been a game of momentum in a lot of these matches. So definitely Japan need their absolute best pick here. 2-0 already, a consolidated breakpoint down. This has got to be something that is really optimal for them that they can get a point on, because United States can run away with this match if they get a second breakpoint.
Mm-hmm. And, I think there's still one map on the board that I think across rank ranges has synonymously been a very good pick against Team United States, and it is that Nomad 1 map. They picked the DT1 first, they weren't so lucky, but Nomad 1, completely different map. 4 minutes long of just full screen jumps. USA down one of their top aim players might be a good pick for Japan, and they are going to go for it. The Nomad 1. Here we have
I was wondering if Japan knows that United States is without that aforementioned aim player. I don't know if that's a known fact, but they go into the Nomad 1 anyway. And yeah, this is the Nomad 1 of all time.
Definitely. Mapped by Azunyan, the aim mapper of all time.
Aim mapper.
Hakor's song, the AIM artist of all time.
Yeah, I mean, this is just like, this just ticks every box you can. I mean, it doesn't get much more no mod 1 than this. So we'll see. You know, teams have taken some no mod 1s off of the United States in the past. Any Israel fans in the chat may remember OWC last year. God, what a moment that was.
That whole match. Didn't they take like 2 or 3 points?
Yeah, I think they were. It was like 2-1 or something, or 2-0. I forget. Yeah, Israel got a couple maps. It was pretty shocking. But yeah, you know, you mentioned that there are good aim players. You know, even without the missing aim player, that are consistent enough to FC aim maps. So United States maybe not in the worst situation or anything, missing one player who's in for aim.
And I believe Japan is also missing a couple players. I believe Val, notably, not online right now, but I think a 1-for-1 trade is pretty fair.
Yeah, I actually, you know, obviously everybody knows Val as a mapper, but I don't know anything about Val as a tournament player at all.
Me neither, honestly, but you know, we got pinged with them in the streamer channel. Val's been uploading some VOD clips for Team Japan.
Yeah.
He made some funny videos for their match last week against Singapore.
Dude, I'm like, deadass the Japanese community, everyone is so funny. Like, I don't even speak Japanese, but you just like watch their clips and everybody is just laughing uproariously the entire time. Their VCs just pop off.
Right now, into the No Mod 1 cryptocurrency, Arco, Conrad Mitten, and Twilight for Team United States.
Known aim player Conrad Mitten.
Conrad Mitten, No Mod 1.
Oh, Twilight? Twilight?
Oh, okay.
Twilight? Alright,
It's
well,
okay.
it's fine.
Yep. Team Japan, Lizil, Nobuchi, Sabakan, and Autoline. Rico Ima going to the bench for this map. But still, I think Japan has some very strong players on this No Mod 1 lineup. Obviously, with their second pick, they really need to get on the board with this, so...
Autoline will FC.
Surely.
Take it to the bank. Take it to the bank. It's interesting looking at these teams and like, there's what, maybe 2 players per roster in common with last year's rosters that played each other? Like, it's not a lot. The USA still has Arco. Japan still has Autoline and...
I think Nobuchi was on last year.
Nobuchi. Wait, did they have Autoline actually? They might not even had Autoline.
They did. They definitely did.
Okay, yeah, they did. They did Autoline and Nobuchi. I think that's it. So like, you know, we're talking about how they're playing each other 2 years in a row, but there's almost no one in common between those teams, which is a really wild like amount of turnover in just a year's time.
Sabakan finding a break for Team Japan. He's going to be their first break. Japan holding on just a sliver to their first lead of the match, I believe, but it does swing back in favor of the United States, who are still holding on to their 3 FCs plus reverse choke from Twilight. But because it is a No Mod 1, they've still got a lot of time on their hands, still about 3 minutes left, so Japan with much opportunity to take this back if the United States does find breaks.
Yeah, I mean, these No Mod 1s always feel so volatile, because you can just break in one, like, diff spike, and all of a sudden the score flips. There's so few places to break. Everybody's looking. But,
Arco?
what did he just break on? What did he break on?
That's a speed player miss. That is most definitely a speed player miss on the No Mod 1. Japan now.
Opportunity for Japan here with 3 FCs and 1 400 combo backing up. Oh my god, Lizzo and Nobuchi's broke on air, and Conrad follows up that. I mean, that was like a jump pattern, but I don't know, it didn't feel that crazy. The opportunity was there, and the opportunity is no longer there.
Most definitely. Cryptocurrency and Twilight still holding on to those big combos for United States up against Autoline and a 500 combo from Sabakan, but United States is going to be fine with that situation. They're going to be able to steal the lead a little bit further up to around 100,000, but there's still a lot of map left. Conrad breaking on the stream, dropping that accuracy down as well to 98. It's really going to hinge to this last Ki. Twilight breaking on the stream. That is a big break, but Autolune breaks
too.
well. No.
Dude, how many chances does Japan need to have in this map? Oh, that feels so bad. They've had, I think it's 3 different opportunities now to try and take this lead back to their side. And every time they found the worst possible person to break at that exact moment in time. And now they've just got Lizil. Well, they've got Sabakan with a 770 combo, but cryptocurrency still up seeing for the United States is going to equal out all of the combo on the board for Japan right now.
Yep, you said Autolune taking the FC to the bank. It is actually going to be cryptocurrency expanding his banking portfolio with that big 1300 combo, 700k score. His stock is going up. The money is going straight into that bank account.
Where do you even trade crypto anymore? They all friggin' shut down. He's the only one keeping the entire crypto industry alive by himself, putting the industry on his back alongside the United States 4WC team.
Yep, that investment of cryptocurrency into this map going to be breaking the bank of Japan to get a second break point on the board for Team United States. It is all just, does he FC at this point? And he does. A very strong FC for the man, cryptocurrency.
That was really impressive. I mean, like, all Nomad 1 memes aside, like, FCing 7-star aim that has a lot of diff spikes is not an easy thing to just go and do in a match. That is a very solid play. Shoutouts to Nobuchi Accuracy, who had, I believe, 2 100s.
3 100, 3 miss was his score.
3 100, 3 miss, and he had the lowest score on his team and the second lowest score in the lobby because his misses were just so perfectly timed. Or imperfectly timed.
Yeah, you hate to see it. The Nomad 1 Gambit, when you just don't drop ACK at all of your ACK drops are from your misses, and I can sympathize with Nobuchi there. That is just a terrible feeling when you have a score like that on the Nomad 1. But speaking of tragedies, that is a very bad outcome for Japan. Now down 2 break points, United States up 3-0, with the pick back in their ballpark, going to be going for Fremont 1, the speed map. POV, you have genetics.
Yeah, this has been another pretty popular pick. Excuse me. Feels like we've seen this quite a few times. Not as many as a couple others. We still need to see Nomad 3. That's the 100% pick rate up to this point map. But yeah, United States, I mean, they're just going genetics. They've got, what, DT1, Nomad 1, Fremont 1. Hard Rock 2 is, I suppose, throws a bit of a wrench in that one, but I say just going genetics, going mechanics.
And already bringing in some of that mechanics roster, Flames Tier and Batball entering the lobby, and Gaby as well going to be playing the speed map for Team USA. That is a unexpected phenomenon, the Gaby speed arc, but I guess with Hidden, his preference mod, he's going to be a little more comfortable on that. Meanwhile, for Team Japan, only Unhappy Kuro in the lobby. Gonna see who they decide to bring in.
Surely Autolune, the base tap X player, will be in for the speed map.
Mikuima coming in. Yeah, this is a little bit of revenge, I think, for USA on the speed. Last year, they got speed abused hard by every single team in the tournament. So putting together a speed roster this year might feel good for Arco to not be alone this time on the speed picks.
I'm trying to remember who would have even been in for speed maps for this team last year. And, like, I don't remember well enough who was on the team. But they had Venpris on that team and Toybot on that team. Wait, Toybot, noted speed player.
And Revo also played speed on that team.
Yeah. I just clicked a random I clicked the MP and looked at a random map, and I think it's Nomad 2. Yes, it is. It's a Zai map. Of course, it's Nomad 2.
Let me guess, it's Make a Quick Escape, and Japan like won by like 100k because I remember that map.
88,000 points. Yep, it was Venpris, Toybot, Arco, Revo, and it was a map that took it to tiebreaker, which they proceeded to win by 50k.
Yeah, that match was so close.
That tiebreaker seems kind of hard. That tiebreaker seems really hard for this pool, actually. What?
Yeah, I remember that tiebreaker. I pooled it.
Eternal Dream? That seems so
Yep,
hard for that
banger.
stage.
Such a banger.
OWC semifinals the year before?
Yes.
Or 2
Yes.
years before? I don't remember.
And I remember Riser popping off on that and still losing.
Yes, and they still lost. Yep. That match was, what was that? Taiwan versus Brazil?
Yes, yes.
God, that match was so good. Holy
And
crap.
then Indo versus someone on that as well.
Well, we do still have a match here, so we should probably stop reminiscing about old OWCs, I suppose.
True.
Might be for the best. So, Japan with, I think this might be their first lead, like, at any point this match so far.
They had one for Nomad 1 for a little bit. Oh, but that break from Siuk is gonna start to throw it back.
Arco trades it, so it's Flames Tier FC, Batball FC against Unhappy Kuro and Rikuima FCs with Nobuchi ahead of Gaby. So this is still Japan advantage. And there
Nobuchi
goes
drop.
Nobuchi. And there goes
drop.
Rikuima as well. Oh my goodness. See, that's what happened on the 1-1, right? Every time Japan had an opportunity, they suddenly no longer had an opportunity. And it's maybe occurring here again on Fremont 1.
Look at Batball's hack halfway through the map. Only about 1/100, I think, from him. 99.88 is extremely strong on the Nomad. But Unhappy Kuro finding a drop, that is going to be very hard for Japan to get back into this one. I think that's it.
Yeah, that actually most likely just ended the map. They needed to have an FC or a big combo just in the hopes that the United States 4-way reset. And much as the United States is unlikely a 4-way reset, dropping that combo made it even more impossible for a comeback. So, unfortunately, like, Japan came into this with the best of intentions, but unfortunately, the United States.
Yeah. And Batball dropping his act, but still alive on the FC with Flames here, dropping a ton of accuracy on that stream, actually. Down to 95 for Flames, but still holding on to the combo. He's going to be fine and dandy with Gaby and Batball and Arco on the reverse choke. United States is poised to put up an insane team score on this map.
This is going to be, what do we got, 3.2 million?
Roughly. A little bit. Oh,
Batball! Oh,
no.
Batball! No!
Batball.
Oh, that was, brother. He actually just evaporated into a fine mist. God.
His cursor shaking again, dude.
Goodness. Well, that was that was not close though. I mean, so the United States looking pretty good. I'm curious to see though, like, where these Japan scores rank overall for the weekend. Because, I mean, they're not playing badly. Like, they're putting up respectable scores. The United States is just putting up really good scores.
Yeah, like a 500, 600K average on a map will be enough to beat probably like 70% of the teams in the tournament. But when you're up against maybe the team that only like a few teams can beat, it's just not going to cut it.
Well, Japan now down 4-0. And on to their own pick, but unfortunately this could very well be their last pick, so once again, it's got to be a good one. I don't know what they feel like they could possibly be comfortable with in this matchup at this stage. 4-0 down, losing three of the ones, excuse me, and Hard Rock 2. Like, do you just say screw it and go Nomad 3, Nomad 4, Hidden 1, like Hard Rock 1 even, just something kind of off the wall?
Nomad 3.
I feel like it should just be Nomad 3 and you just hope that you hit the diff spike and they don't, and there you go. Just, you know, if you hit the squares and the United States doesn't hit the squares, then you can win.
Hello, am I back from my scuba diving trip?
Welcome back from your scuba diving trip.
Yeah, it was very pleasant under the water that just enveloped my dorm room for like maybe 30 seconds. But yeah, this Nomad 3 pick is, I think, probably the best thing Japan had left in the pool. You have players like Autolean who are just so consistent at ult. I think having a player like him on this map is going to be really dangerous because I believe this is one of the harder maps in the pool. So if you can just have one player who's like very good at it and hope for a break from a lot of the players on Team United States who might be filling on this, then you have an opportunity to steal a point back.
Yeah, the phrase is interesting to say this is one of the harder maps in the pool because like most of it isn't that hard, right? But the diff spikes in context of the rest of the map make it very, very difficult to FC because there's a few different places where you are just very likely to miss.
The squares.
The squares.
The squares.
This is the square aim practice map of all time.
Yeah, in the USA tryouts, I pooled Dance in the Game by the same mapper, and people complained that it was just a square map, and now knowing that this was in the pool, I feel like I had some godly foresight into that.
A little bit of vindication there for that choice in the tryouts pool. Like, yes, this was a good decision. Of course, nothing could have possibly prepared you for Bing chilling-ish, but...
That map was a little bit of an anomaly, I think. I hope it's an anomaly, is what I'm saying.
I hope it was an anomaly also. So we've got Autoline, Rikuima, Sabakan, and Siuk. Crypto, Batball, Con Radical Mittens, and Twilight. Well, this is Japan with their backs up against the wall, 4-0 down. They've played a decent match, but United States has played a very good match. And as such, Japan finds themselves with possibly one last opportunity to get a point on the board. And it's going to be reliant on them hitting some squares and maybe not breaking in the slow section. And also hoping that the United States doesn't continue popping off because they've been kind of doing that.
Yeah, Cryptocurrency has been having a match for Team United States. That guy, I think, has FC'd both the maps he's been in for. So, very good match from him, but still, Japan has an opportunity on this map. Despite being down 4-0, they are not out of it yet. They have a chance to win it here, get back on the board, and maybe start some sort of comeback, but they first have to win this map, and we have yet to get into any of the hard parts, which is probably going to signify the direction that this map goes in, because this 300 free combo at the start is not insignificant. If you can FC through this chorus, you are basically guaranteed a 500k score or more.
Oh,
Siuk survives. Siuk first to drop into the squares soon. No other breaks.
I'm just going to continue to break Autoline FCs. Maybe Autoline FCs this one. Here we go. Linear's in a square. Nobody breaks there. Another little pattern. It's Sabakan the next to break. Autoline and Rikuima hold, but all four of the players in the United States make it through. Conrad, the only one, finally does break on the second square.
Look at the axe on Team USA.
Jeez, man. Yeah, Batball and Twilight having a time. That being said, I mean, Autoline and Rikuima have really good accuracy as well for the two FCs left, as does Sabakan despite his break. So, accuracy really not a problem for anybody. It's just going to be the combo that's important. And 3 FCs to 2.
Oh, Sabakan finding a drop on the slower section. It's not going to bode well for Team Japan. USA already up 150k. They're going to need something like that from Team USA to get back in this map, I think.
We've seen a few people breaking somewhere in this slow middle third. It has happened a not insignificant number of times. So perhaps there is a chance that something happens to the United States here, but I find it kind of unlikely. They seem pretty locked in. But if Rikuima and Autoline continue to hold and 1 or 2 of those FCs from the United States break, well, it'd be 2 of them probably required. There's a chance. However, it's Siuk breaking in the slow part. See, it's always somebody. You hate to see it. It's always somebody, and you also hate to see it when it's the team that's already down and that, you like to see them get on the board and make this a little more competitive affair, but USA has no interest in making this a competitive affair whatsoever. Autoline breaking on. Nah, that's going to do it. If it wasn't already done, stick working it.
And Rikuima breaking. Yeah, it's gonna probably end it here. Now the big question is, I think, looking at Batball's accuracy in his combo, will he pull off an SS on this map? That would be absolutely unreal for a tournament setting.
You think?
Oh my god.
I don't know what we're seeing.
Batball!
Oh my Batball.
Oh my
Batball.
Batball.
No, Batball, don't do it. Don't do it, Batball. He's good. He's done it. Ending time. Little shakes? Nah, he's good. He's good. No shakes at all. He is so set.
SS.
Batball?
On the Nomad 3.
Is this the exclamation mark that the United States wanted for this match? Yes! I think it is. Batball with the SS closes it out. 5-0. That is... that's absurd. And a double FC, no less.
Yep,
Wow.
United States gonna be getting their revenge from 2022, 5-0ing Japan in the round of 16. Gonna be moving on to face Thailand in the quarterfinals next week.
Ooh,
That's
that's
gonna be a spicy one.
spicy. That's spicy. This Thailand team looks so good, but man, it's hard to bet against the United States after what we just saw, and those were some ridiculous scores.
Meanwhile, Japan gonna be moving on down to losers bracket, who will face. Let me check that really quickly. This is match number 29. They're going to be facing the winner of UK and Austria.
Yeah. That's should be pretty winnable for them, whoever they end up playing. I think that's a winnable matchup for Japan.
For sure. Imagine UK versus Japan. You have Doomsday versus Val. That would be the battle.
Goodness.
The battle of
What
OG.
year is it? What year is it, bro? It's 2007 or some shit.
Literally.
Oh man. So, well done to the United States. Little commiserations to Japan. They were kind of just getting in front of the train that was the USA, and that is gonna do it actually for us for tonight. Our first day of round of 16 comes to a close. We had some pretty solid matches today. We also had some pretty one-sided affairs, but shout outs to Belgium, Singapore, and Thailand versus Australia for being some really a good couple of matches in a list of others that were not quite so close. Tomorrow morning, we get some more bangers. South Korea, Germany tomorrow. We get Hong Kong, Ukraine tomorrow, which I think is a sneaky good matchup.
It is.
What else is tomorrow? We get
Netherlands, Canada.
I would say, yeah, Netherlands, Canada, and then a few losers bracket matches as well. So definitely don't want to miss tomorrow, because we'll be back in the morning, early afternoon, I guess, if you're in a time zone that probably shouldn't be awake right now. But that's gonna do it for today. Yeah, I don't know. We've seen some good Osu. We're gonna see some more good Osu. I've been T1G. He's been Miles. Thank you guys for watching. Congratulations, USA. We'll see you tomorrow for day 2 of 4WC 2023 round of 16 weekend. Good night for now.
Good night. Stay tuned, everybody.